Hello my friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop, and welcome to part 4 of the Tissue Box Ukulele project. Okay, so in part 3 you will have seen that I was finishing the internal braces. I'd got them all shaped with the chisel, and it was just a final sanding to make them nice and smooth, take out any lumps and bumps and just make them look and feel really good. Okay, so what I've done between then and now, I've done a few of the niggling, time-consuming, boring jobs off camera, just to, basically get prepared for this next stage. So, one thing I was not happy about was the finish on the front of the headstock, where I'd actually sanded through the veneer, and then you could see the join in the wood of the two pieces, and they were different grain, different shade, and even with the green stain on them on it, it looked really bad. So I sanded all that off, and then I glued another piece of wood on top, cut it to shape, cut out the tuner holes, and sanded the block of wood down to really thin, just like the original veneer, and it's probably, I would say, little more than ½ millimeter thick, and it looks so much better than it did before. The rest of the neck is still green, not just green, but green. And I've kept it looking like that, so it's kind of got that aged look to go with the style of the box as well. So I've redone the front of the headstock, looks 100 times better in the sort of original veneer type front rather than that two-tone green. And also in part 3 I glued the two halves of the box together. It ended up really good, but I did put some internal strips of wood along the join, along the two sides and the bottom. Quite wide pieces of wood, but very thin. Just to go along the seam on the inside, just to make sure it's all solid, and now it is really solid. What else have I done? Okay, so I've also put a couple of pieces of wood here, look, either side of where these two bits of wood join, to strengthen that a bit. That's ended up rather nice and nice and strong there. And once I've put the bridge plate in, I'll probably put 2 more pieces here and here as well. I'm not sure yet. Another thing I've done is I've cut the hole ready for the preamp, and the hole here for the jack output. So what I've done off camera is this veneer on the front of the headstock. I'll put the lining strips of wood along the seam where the two halves join, and I've cut out the hole for the preamp and the jack. That's all I've done off camera. And also, as you can see, I've temporarily fitted the neck. So I drilled 2 holes and put screws in there. So it's temporarily fitted, and you can't see it from here, but I've also cut out the material, this material all the way around, so that it is wood to wood when I come to gluing it. Now, excuse me. The reason I've got the neck fitted on at this stage is because the next stage is to align the bridge, and I need the neck on to be able to do that. And because I'd used this neck in a previous project, it seems to be already angled. I don't know how well you can see that, but if you go along this level and then the neck kind of drops down. Can you see that? I think you can. So if I look down from this end and look along the flat of the box, I cannot see the headstock, or I can't even see the nut, which is what you want. You want the neck to angle back a bit, so that the strings come up to the top of where the bridge will be. So looking at it, it looks like it's going to be close enough, I would say. Oh, I've also refitted the nut. And for this veneer, apart from there's a little bit of a boo-boo there, where I'd sanded it a bit too much there, but apart from that, you would never know that that's not the original veneer. Right, so let me just turn the camera around and point it down to the work area. Okay, so I think I've got pretty much everything around me that I need to do this next job. So, the bridge, not going to worry about the bridge plate just yet. Just the bridge, I need to get that aligned. Now I've got a fairly simple but fairly clever method of lining up the bridge, because the last thing you want to do is glue the bridge on and then find it's in the wrong place. So you've got to make sure it lines up. First of all, it's got to be in the right area and straight, but also set in the right position for optimum intonation. Now, it's always quite hard to get a ukulele perfectly intonated, and as I said, I did have a compensated saddle in this bridge, but because I think that's going to be very difficult to set it up with that, I found a straight saddle in my stash. And as it turns out, it fits inside this bridge absolutely perfectly. I mean, it's exactly the right length, it's exactly the right thickness, and it appears to be more or less the right height. I mean, that's in there, it doesn't wobble around at all, it's in there nice and tight, but not so tight that you can't get it in and out. Okay, so my method for lining up the bridge, I need a few bits and pieces. Let me just gather those together first. Let's see, I need that and I need that. Okay, so what I've got here is actually part of an old tremolo bridge from a Fender style guitar. Just an old piece, and I've cut it and shaped it to how I need it for this purpose. So what I do is I place it on the end. Let me just make sure that's kind of lined up in the middle. Okay. So I place that on the end of the box and then use a clamp to hold it in place. So let me just get that set up. Oh, I'm going to need to put the back panel back in for this. Just pop that back in quickly. Okay. It's quite a tight fit, but that's good. Okay, it's just to give me an area to actually clamp to. Okay, right, that's in. So, I place my little bracket on the end, get the clamp, just open it up a bit. Okay, so, let me just make sure that's lined up in the middle. Okay, let me just check it again from the other end. Ah, clamps come loose. Okay, I should have set this up off camera really, but never mind. Okay, just check that for alignment. More or less right. Just move it around a bit. Okay, seems to be about right. Just get a straight edge. I mean, this doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but the straighter it is, the better it will work for what I'm doing. Okay, so that's now clamped on there, okay, and you can see that it has the string holes at each end. So what I do is I feed two of my strings through those holes. Now I've got these little guitar string ball ends just tied on the end of these strings so that they don't go right through these holes. So I put one in each side. So these are effectively the G and the A strings of the ukulele, so the two outside strings. So pop those through there, like so. Don't know how well you can see that, but they've gone through the string holes there, and those little brass ball ends will stop them coming right through. And then I feed them into the tuners. I've already got a couple of tuners in place. So I'll just feed the string into the hole and start to tighten that up a bit. Make sure it goes into the nut slot. Make sure it turns the right way as well. Okay. So just tighten that string up a little bit. I probably need my string winder for this to be a bit quicker. There we go. That's better. Right. So that's that one that side. Do the same with the other one the other side. Okay, so that's got to turn which way? That way. Okay. Right. Fiddly, fiddly. Going the right way? No. Now I am. Right, so I've got those two strings on, okay, and now I place the bridge underneath the strings. So now the bridge is floating, it's not attached, but I can now start to tune it up, check the intonation, and move the bridge to where it needs to be for the optimum intonation. Now I have done some measurements and already put a pencil line, you can see just in front of the bridge, of more or less where it needs to be. So I'm just going to slide the bridge up to that pencil mark, and I'll get the strings tuned up to pitch. Okay, so this is the G string. I'll need the string winder because this will take a while to get to where it needs to be. Right, that's up to E. G coming up. It's gone right up to A, but that doesn't matter. Okay, so the same this side. Tuner's in the way now. That's a C. That's an E. G, and coming up on A. So you see it's a lot quicker with that string winder. Right, so let me just fine tune that bit. Just get my neck lock. A bit easier. Ooh. Okay, just turn that up that way. That clamp is causing me a bit of a problem, never mind. Okay. So, tune that up to A, and this up to G. Okay, so now I need to just check the intonation. Okay, so pluck the string, get it up to G, fret at the 12th, and it should be a octave G. Okay, that's really sharp. Let me just check the other side. That's interesting, that's really flat. Okay. Now it's flat. Okay, that's interesting. The G is sharp and the A is flat. So, if it's sharp, it means the string is too short. So I need to move the bridge back a bit. Let me just try it there. Okay. Right, so that's showing that the A is flat, but the G is sharp. So, you know, you can already see how difficult it is to intonate a ukulele. It's not easy. Maybe I've got it, I think I've got it over to one side of it. Right. Okay, that's quite close now. I think that clamp's a bit loose. Let me just crank that down a bit. Okay, so the A, let's just check it again. That's pretty close. Okay, let's try the G again. The G is really sharp. Okay, so what I'm finding is that the G is tuning really sharp and the A is tuning quite flat. So I need to find kind of a sweet spot between the two. So let me just come back just a little bit. So what I will do is I'll get it set up as close as I can with this setup. And I might try the compensated saddle, and I've got a feeling it will be even worse with that. So I'll get it set up as close as I can, and then I might even compensate this saddle. Don't know yet. See how close we can get it. That's a G. It's showing very sharp. That's my A. That's not bad, it's quite close. But I can see that the bridge is not straight. I want it to be straight regardless of how far out the intonation is going to be. So we've got about 55 there, and we've got 58 there. Okay, so I need to just straighten that up a bit. Okay, so we've got 57 and 56 and a half. So just a slight tweak on that. Okay, so we've got, let's see, 50, 56 and almost 57. Okay. Right, one more. 50, 57, and 57. Okay. Right, so let's see how that intonates there. Oh dear, running out of time again. Okay, that's about as close as I'm going to get it, I think. So I've now got it, so the G is a bit sharp and the A is a bit flat. And that's about as close as you're ever going to get with a ukulele without, you know, offsetting the bridge. And I don't want to do that. Really what it wants is an offset saddle like a guitar has. I don't know why they're always put in straight. Just check one more time. As I said, I think this is probably as close as I'm going to get. Yeah, it's not ideal. It's not ideal. Okay, I think that's about as close as I'm going to get. It's literally right on the mark, the pencil mark that I put in there, so that was right. I will intonate it better by compensating the saddle. I'm not going to use the compensated saddle. I will try it, but I'm sure it's going to be quite a long way off. Okay, just one more check. G, sharp, A, is a little flat. Okay, that's the closest I'm going to get. While I've got it strung up like this, I just want to check the action as well, the string height above the fretboard. Now that looks pretty good. I don't think I'm going to need to change the angle of the neck. Let me just get my my height gauge. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, we're sitting pretty high actually. We're sitting at around 2.25 to 2.5 millimeters, which is pretty high, and that is going to affect the intonation a little bit. So I am not going to angle the neck anymore. I can take the action down by lowering the saddle a little bit. I won't need to take much off of there. So yeah, I'm going to go with that. So while I've got the bridge in place, I'm going to get my mechanical pencil and just draw all the way around the bridge where it is. Let me just check for alignment again one more time. So we've got 56.5 and we've got 56.5. I'll take that. Okay, so I'm going to draw a pencil line all the way around the bridge where it sits right now. And I'm just going to go with that. You know, for a ukulele, it's as close as you're going to get. They're never perfect unless they're, you know, extremely high-end, professional level ukuleles. They're never perfect. But like I said, I can play around with the compensation on the saddle anyway once it's set in place permanently. And I can, you know, make a bit of improvement to it. It won't be a problem. Okay, so let me just make sure I've got a clear pencil line all the way around that bridge. Doesn't mark that well on this material that's on the top, which I think it's faux leather, PVC, whatever it is. Okay. So, time is running out. So, let me just very quickly loosen the strings. Okay. Okay, so I'll take the bridge out. And we're going to remove this clamp now. Just hold those strings down so it doesn't ping everywhere. Okay, just put those to one side. So now you can see I've got a clear line around where the bridge is going to go. So I'm going to use my scalpel to cut that out, and then the next stage will be gluing the bridge in place, which will be in part 5. I had to remember where we were up to. So it's all going rather well so far, and as I said, the next stage is to glue the bridge in place, which you will see in part 5. Peace out.